unazaa ama uko na watoto wako wenye wanazaa. Hakuna mwenye anaambianga Mungu nataka hii ama sitaki hii.
It is a condition which is related with so many mates in ya kwenu. Sisi mama yenu hakufanya hivi, shosho yenu hakufanya hivi. All those mates, if they are not well elaborated, they become truth.
Join us this Sunday as we talk about cerebral palsy.
Good evening and welcome to Easy Friday tonight. It's the end of another busy week around the world, and as the weekend begins, we are here to ease you into the weekend with top global stories, a touch of insight, and a dose of good energy from me, Carren Kibbett. Definitely news touching on politics and tech to culture and innovation. We'll take you through the headlines shaping our world tonight. Later on, we'll definitely dive into the latest in business and sports, and from market movers and economic updates to the biggest moments in global competition, that is sports. So wherever you're tuning in from, whether you're wrapping up your day or just getting started, settle in and let's get you caught up on what's happening across the globe this Friday night. But first, here are the highlights. Reprieve at last. Kiambu Doctors Inc. deal, ending their 5-month strike.
Kama hata rundi gosi yake, lakini afadhali saa hii. Haki niko na furaha sana, sijui nianzie wapi, lakini nikushukuru sana kwa madaktari wangu. Njoo amenisikilia.
A second chance. 7-year-old boy from Igembe North leaves hospital after corrective surgery following a gunshot wound to his face. And EPL Trophy Tour. President William Ruto receives iconic trophy at State House in Nairobi. This is Easy Friday. Our sign language interpreter this evening is Caroline Njoroge. Now, doctors in Kiambu County have called off their strike following the signing of a deal between the county government, the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union KMDU and the Council of Governors. Speaking in Nairobi after a consultative meeting between the three bodies, KMPDU Secretary General Atela urged the doctors to resume work on Monday next week. The Kiambu doctors have been on strike for 150 days since the 26th of this May this year. A return to work formula addressing the doctors' grievances and setting clear timelines for implementation was key in resolving the strike.
After being on the streets for the last 5 months pushing for better working terms, the Kenya Medical, Pharmacist and Dentist Union have finally called off their doctors' strike in Kiambu County. This is after the Council of Governors Executive and Health Committee convened a meeting between the county government of Kiambu and KMPDU to resolve outstanding matters. KMPDU Secretary General Davji Atela says Kiambu County has made considerable progress in addressing the union's concern by engaging an extra 90 doctors and 200 nurses.
That we have a return to work formula that has been signed today that gives timelines on the pending promotions within the county. That those that are going to be done within 2 weeks, those that are going to be done within 6 weeks. and that is a clear expression of goodwill on that particular matter. The matters of salary delays, we have been given commitments that when work is well done in Kiambu County, then the onsource revenue will be fit enough to ensure that there are no delays of statutory deduction.
Council of Governors Whip Muthomi Njuki revealed that both parties have agreed that Kiambu County government will pay 1 month's salary to the striking workers immediately upon their resuming duty together with the October salary.
We urge all doctors in Kiambu County to accept the goodwill which has been extended by the county government, and for the KMPDU to call off the strike so that the people of Kiambu can continue enjoying the services they deserve from the government. We remain committed to the doctors' cause for the betterment of the lives of Kenyans as a Council of Governors.
He further said the pending 3 months' salaries will be paid the next financial year 2026-2027. In the meantime, the county government of Kiambu will reinstate the deduction and remittance of union dues immediately.
Moving forward, we want to have a proper engagement, direct engagement with the union when they have issues, so that we can resolve them. However, in the period that the strike was ongoing, we did what we had to do. We offered health services. We ensured that we employed doctors so that services can continue in Kiambu.
The group further agreed that there will be no victimization whatsoever by the employer to the members who took part in the ongoing strike.
We call upon the county government and the union to embrace dialogue to ensure that the contentious issues are resolved at the soonest time possible, so that the service delivery in the health sector is uninterrupted.
272 doctors out of 370 were not on strike. COG Health Chairperson Abdul Samad Sharif Nasir has in the meantime urged leaders to stop politicizing matters of health.
All the governors are in agreement. We need to ensure that politics stay out of our hospital wards, politics stay out of our operating theaters, politics stay out of anything that is talking about the life of Kenyans.
Timothy Kipnusu for Easy Friday.
Thank you, Timothy, for that report. Moving on, the government has extended by 1 day the deadline for validation of 800,000 beneficiaries of the National Opportunities Towards Advancement Program. Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Development Principal Secretary Susan Mangeni says the decision to extend the deadline was as a result of technical hitches with the validation gadgets. The nationwide validation exercise is aimed at identifying those who meet the eligibility criteria. 70,000 youth per ward are expected to benefit from the program. Here are the details of the exercise, which will now conclude on Saturday.
At Chepkanga Moiben in Uasin Gishu County, hundreds of youths turned out for the National Opportunities Towards Advancement Program, NYOTA. It is in here that Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Development Principal Secretary Susan Mangeni announced the extension of the exercise.
Ni mambo ya kwamba mnapata challenge kidogo na mambo ya EAT. Tumeconsult na tumeamua kama serikali ya kwamba tunaenda ku-extend deadline ya EAT. Tunaelewana? Iko extended. Kwa hivyo ilikuwa iishe saa 6, lakini tumefungua, bado mitambo itaendelea kuwa open mpaka kesho.
According to Mangeni, more than 2 million young people across the country had applied for the NYOTA program and 800,000 were selected.
We will proceed to training, classroom training. We'll have 4 days of training. And then of course, mkishamaliza training hiyo, then we will do the first disbursement, which is of 50,000. But then tumesema ndio kuwe mfanyabiashara mzuri, then you must also be encouraged to start saving.
And in Migori, Public Investment and Assets Management Principal Secretary Cyril Odede urged the youths who had applied to sit for the aptitude test to benefit from the program. The PS disclosed out of 400 applications from God Jope Ward in Suna East constituency, only 186 had sat for the aptitude test.
So you can see also people fear doing tests But I've told them clearly that there is no right or wrong answers to those questions. This is just a psychometric test. They want to make sure that they are testing the skills, whether you have business, entrepreneurial skills.
In Kilifi, Youth Affairs and Creative Economy Principal Secretary challenged the youths to take advantage of the program for self-improvement.
Pesa hii si pesa ya kufanya sherehe. Wajua sisi ni vijana, lazima tukumbushane, tafadhalini sana. Hii si pesa ya sheshe. Hii si pesa ya kwenda hapo mkoroshoni ukachukue nguo kalikali usurprise mpenzi wako nayo, tafadhali. Hii ni pesa ya kufanya biashara.
In Homa Bay, 280 youths were selected out of 1,500 applicants for the program. Homa Bay County Director of Youth Affairs, Electa Opar, said over 3,000 youths failed to meet the basic application requirements.
In the morning, we had about 5,000 youths who appeared, and after sieving them out, about 3,000 remained. Some of them are actually not qualified because we are looking at the messages that were sent to them. So in those messages, some of them were disqualified instantly.
Finally, in Kirinyaga, over 8,000 youths turned out for the Nyota program validation, with only a handful being selected. According to Kirinyaga Youth Fund Coordinator David Karimi, applicants were reporting to wrong verification centers due to incorrect information and contact numbers.
Na tumejaribu kutatua ili kusiende hata mtu mmoja asiende nyumbani kama hajatosheka. Kwa hivyo tuko na mtu wa Micro and Small Enterprise Authority anawasaidia kupita changamoto zingine ambazo tunaweza katika kiwango chetu.
Opicho Chemtai for Easy Friday.
Moving on, Principal Secretary for the State Department of Broadcasting and Telecommunications, Stephen Isaboke, has urged young people to take advantage of the economic empowerment initiatives provided by the government to create gainful opportunities. He expressed optimism over the registration of approximately 29,000 youth for the National Youth Opportunities Towards Advancement Nyota program in KBC County. Meanwhile, PS for Culture, the Arts and Heritage, Bashir, who oversaw the exercise in Wajir County, reaffirmed the government's dedication to uplifting the youth through the Nyota initiative.
During the verification exercise held at the Kisii National Polytechnic, PS Isaboke noted that the process had commenced smoothly, with a significant turnout recorded. He emphasized that the exercise aims to validate applicants' eligibility and ensure that deserving youth from every ward across the country are selected.
And if you look at the 9 constituencies and 45 wards, Kisii will get 3,150 youth that will actually be eligible to get the 50,000 grant from the World Bank to start business or to help themselves in a small way. To help themselves to actually start earning some income.
Reiterating the government's commitment to youth empowerment, PS Umi Bashir encouraged young people to prioritize national ID registration to avoid missing out on available opportunities.
Many a times, the younger generations have been left behind when it comes to livelihood improvement by the government. But we thank the current government for remembering each and every part, every ward, every constituency, and taking Wajir along with the rest of the country to ensure that the youths benefit from the Nyota program.
She also called on local leaders and national government administration officers to collaborate with registration teams to identify challenges, curb corruption, and guarantee inclusivity.
We would encourage our youths to stop these issues of tahrib because you don't know what is in store for you. There is no guarantee of a better livelihood there. So you're better safe at home than going across borders.
In Mombasa, PS for Transport Mohammed Dagar urged youth to embrace the Nyota program to launch and grow their entrepreneurial ventures. Leading the verification drive across Mvita, Nyali, Kisauni, Jomvu, Changamwe and Likoni, Dagar described Nyota as a flagship government initiative aimed at tackling youth unemployment through practical, inclusive and impact-driven solutions.
This is not the only program that is there under the Nyota project. We also have different other components of this Nyota project, including the training of over 600,000 youth to the new electronic government procurement system, where youth will be able to be trained and also, apply to different available opportunities for the project.
In Meru County, thousands of youth from North Imenti and Imenti East turned out for the verification exercise. Leaders appealed to successful applicants to use the funds prudently and reinvest to grow their capital base.
Wale watapata 50,000 waweze kuzalisha, ndio at the end of the day tunataka kuona entrepreneurs hapa. Hii pesa sio ya kila siku ya kwenda kwa ati mtu ananunua nguo mpya ya kufanya mambo ndogo ndogo, hapana. Hii sio ya everyday, ile ni ya kutengeneza biashara.
Meanwhile in Kajiado, hundreds of youth, including young mothers with infants, braved long queues, clutching on their ID cards in hopes of securing a spot in the program. PS for Justice, Human Rights and Constitutional Affairs Judith Pareno stated that the government is committed to training all beneficiaries to ensure the funds are utilized effectively and responsibly.
There's hope. It's not like because today you've not made it, then you say that, okay, the project is not on. We are going to look for ways, and government has promised to reach out to the young people, and that is why we are here.
Sisi kama youth, tumekama hapa hivi tunataka kujijenga. Tunataka tukipata ingiri chwani, kila mtu anze busy yake.
expect kugetido, nikipata ndafurahi sana. Nikipata naweza anza kabiashara juu ni huko street ni kunoma mbaya.
John Jacob Curia, Easy Friday.
Thank you, Kira, for that report. Now, Ian Baraka, a 7-year-old boy from Igembe North, Meru County, whose face was disfigured following a gunshot wound in 2023, has been discharged from Kenyatta National Hospital. This follows a successful complex reconstructive surgery. Speaking after his discharge, Ian's mother, Bessie Kinya, could not hide her joy and gratitude to the team of doctors for restoring her son's smile. Joseph Wahungu brings us the details of his journey to this day.
When Ian Baraka was wheeled into the intensive care unit at Kenyatta National Hospital a month ago, his mother was at the brink of giving up.
Our doctors have been doing and what the monitoring.
However, nearly a month after his admission, 7-year-old boy Baraka would walk out of the hospital to the joy of his family. He was all smiles, singing and chatting delightfully as he was finally going home after corrective surgery. Bessie Kinya, a once desperate mother, narrated with joy how this moment marks the end of a long, painful journey which culminated in Ian regaining his strength and ability to perform basic tasks, including eating.
Hata kama hatarudi gosi yake, lakini afadhali saa hii. Haki niko na furaha sana, sijui nianzie wapi, lakini nikushukuru sana kwa madaktari wangu. Njoo amenisikilia, tunakulanga kila kitu, tunakula nyama, tunakula ambaye kitu yote tunataka, hadi kuku tunakulanga.
It has taken the skills, dedication and innovation of a multidisciplinary team of doctors at Kenyatta National Hospital to make this possible. According to the doctors, Ian was rushed to KNH from Meru County Referral Hospital after suffering a severe gunshot injury to the face, losing his nose, upper lip and part of his upper jaw. This made it impossible for him to eat or speak.
Ian Baraka is one of our patients who came to us as a referral from the County Hospital of Meru after accidentally being injured on the face.
And so he now has teeth, and he has upper jaw reconstructed, and Baraka now can eat, and he can also speak.
Using advanced 3D imaging and simulation technology, the surgeons created specific implants designed for Ian in a bid to restore his appearance.
For us to be able to get this, to be able to get the right size, the right form, the right weight, and looking at his function, to be able to chew and have these implants in the mouth for the next 5 to 10 years, we needed to be able to simulate that. Now we use something called finite element analysis. It's essentially a simulation that allows us to get precisely implants that are able to serve the function for which we anticipate he will need them.
The doctors also developed a removable silicone prosthesis that forms Ian's nose and lips, which aids in the growth of his soft tissues. While releasing him to go home, the doctor said his progress will be closely monitored as he continues to grow.
Plastic surgery or the plastic and reconstructive are going to be roped in at some point so that we can see how we can rehabilitate Ian as he grows into adulthood.
Meanwhile, KNH is also appealing for support to assist more than 40 other patients, most of them children, who have lost parts of their faces due to accidents, gunshots, or cancer.
Those 40 plus whom we have and waiting to go through a similar surgery needs your support.
Once these are made in Belgium or wherever they'll be made, then it comes with a cost. But here, from what I was given, which I was trying to raise about 3.7 million Kenya shillings.
Joseph Wahungu for Easy Friday.
Thank you, Wahungu, for that beautiful report. Bahati can now eat, can now talk. Things most people take for granted. Thank you, KNH doctors, for that successful complex reconstructive surgery. We now take a short break. We will be back after this short break. Don't go too far.
Wiki hii kwenye Mkulima tunaangazia kilimo kutumia mbinu za asili. Kisha jinsi ya kuwafuga ng'ombe, kondoo pamoja na kuku.
Hawa wanyama wako na challenges mingi pia. Kukua na wao inabidi ujipange. Kwanza majani, unafaa kuwa na majani ya kutosha, wanakula vizuri. Una make sure ni huko mahali wanalala ni kusafi. Alafu pia dawa ya minyoo unaipea. Kwa wakati after 1 month unaipea dawa.
Tazama Mkulima kila Jumamosi saa 10:30 hapa KBC Channel 1 kwa mseto kamili wa kilimo.
Ng'ombe shavikamua. Na ilivyo kawaida ng'ombe kivizikia nguma lishoni. Sharti arudi zizini.
Kazi yako ni nini hapa? It's not your father's office and not even past.
Wewe utanipa heshima zangu. Utaniheshimu na uniite baba.
She doesn't love you. She's just playing around with you. Kama hanipendi, kwa nini endelea kuchunguza maisha yake ukijapo ofisini mwake kila wakati? Si mbanda wewe mwanamke, utajichunga wewe.
Welcome back. For those joining us right now, this is Easy Friday. Now, a 3-day conference for county secretaries kicked off in Kwale County with calls for them to uphold integrity and professionalism. Head of Public Service Felix Koskei, presiding over the start of the event, emphasized public servants need to ensure the highest standards of integrity and accountability despite challenges.
Speaking during this year's convention, the head of Public Service, Felix Koskei, said there is need to change Kenya's perspective of the public service through professionalism and solid structures for quality delivery of services. Sentiments echoed by the chairman of the Council of Governors.
We must build a culture that values creativity over hierarchy, competence over seniority, and service over status. The patronizing attitudes and rigid job group mindsets that have long been defined our public service must become relics of the past. They have no place in Kenya. We are building a Kenya that is forward-looking, inclusive, and driven by performance and purpose.
As heads of public service, you are administrative anchors of your governments, and therefore you must be all-rounded. You translate political leadership into coherent policy, manage the machinery of the public service, and ensure compliance with national values and principles. of governance, integrity, accountability, equity, and efficiency.
Koskei further called for bridging the gap between the government and the people through meaningful engagements, ensuring that the people understand and trust the public policies and programs.
We are also called to address wastage in government decisively and to fight corruption where it manifests. We must take collective responsibility for the prudent use of public resources and uphold the highest standards of integrity and accountability. Only when we lead by example can we rebuild public trust and restore faith in the institutions we serve.
He reiterated it was a collective responsibility to ensure the government was responsive to the public's needs and delivers on its mandate. For Easy Friday from Kwale County, I am Ann Mburu. Now, the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation's Pension Scheme Board of Trustees Chairman Martin has assured members that their contributions are safe. Speaking during the Pension Scheme Members Education Day at the Broadcasting House in Nairobi, Kingasia said the transfer of the parcels of land in Langata and Kerarapon will clear the 3.27 billion shillings owed to the scheme by KBC. The transfer will take effect in January, and all pending retirees' dues will be paid by May next year. He further said they are reviewing the scheme's governance policy to ensure the retirees' dependents get the contributors' investment. A court case where the Retirement Benefits Authority seeks to liquidate the scheme over unremitted staff reductions has also been postponed to January 2026.
We are on track towards delivering lump sum to our pensioners, the people whose money is pending. We are on track to delivering that by May 1st, 2026. I can assure you that from the look of things, everyone will have been paid their money by May 1st, and we are not joking about it.
Moving on, the nationwide Kenya Defence Forces recruitment exercise for general duty recruits and Defence Forces constables, which kicked off on the 13th of October this year, is set to conclude tomorrow. Vice Chief of the Defence Forces, Lieutenant General John Omenda, today toured recruitment centres in the coastal region where he lauded recruitment teams for upholding transparency, professionalism and integrity during the exercise. Meanwhile, the shortlisting for General Service Officers, Cadets, Specialist Officers and Tradesmen and Women has been completed, with successful candidates set to receive notifications ahead of their recruitment and interviews slated for November this year.
So far, the recruitment is going on seamlessly, smoothly, and we are impressed with the high number of Kenyans who have turned out. They are young, eager, patriotic, very fit, and something we noted this year especially is they are very calm and disciplined.
And the turnout was impressive. They came out in large numbers, they followed all the instructions they were given from the beginning up to the stage we are in. That is very commendable and impressive for the people of Kenya.
The renaming of Mbagathi Way to Raila Odinga Way in October 2021 was perhaps more than just a change of signpost. It was the recognition of a man whose influence on Kenya's democratic and infrastructural landscape will remain etched in history, a legacy that saw him receive the coveted state commendation first-class order of the Chief of the Golden Heart posthumously. As the country continues to pay tribute to his legacy, we visit the 2-kilometer cement road named after him that connects Ngong Road and Langata Road, a road that is now a symbol of his legacy. Come to Menza with the details.
One Nairobi City County Assembly, led by then Minority Leader Peter Imotok, passed a motion to rename Mbagathi Way to Raila Odinga Way in honor of Raila. The move was meant to recognize his immense contribution to Kenya's political, social and economic transformation. Perhaps a gesture to celebrate his impact while still alive.
Because I have a conviction that most members will respect Raila Odinga and award him this road when still alive. I was moved by the fact that I wanted to do something when the guy is still alive. Little did I know that this month on 20th, same October, 20th, 15th of this month, Mzee is gone.
The road runs on both lanes and intersects Langata Road and Ngong Road. Its lustre clearly differentiating it from the normal tar.
This area, the 2 kilometers, is so iconic to my thinking. Because he's been a member of parliament here, he tried and said, guys, Kenyans, instead of us misusing money in repairs of roads and everything, let's do a standard road, the German class, that you do once, in the next 50 years, you're not doing repairs.
But while few might remember, the road built close to 20 years ago was part of a pilot project launched when Raila Odinga served as Minister for Roads and Public Works from 2003. Here, Raila targeted to modify the construction of roads to use cement-based technology rather than the normal tarmac for roads. Until now, the 2-kilometer stretch remains smooth and intact with no potholes in sight.
If all roads in Kenya could be built with the standard Raila Odinga wanted, then the cost of maintaining our roads could be lesser or could be none. Like this road now is almost 20 years. You can see there's no pothole to date. Those roads are built last year. If you go to Malaba Highway, Bungoma Highway, it was built last year but one. But now they are doing repairs. The standard he brought, he wanted to test it, and he worked on this road.
For users of this road, it is a reminder of a leader who not only spoke change, but sought for practical ways to achieve it.
You remember the last Mandamano? The last Mandamano when Mzee was being tear gas at Langata Road, the cameras zoomed this, said, is now on Raila Odinga Way. You know, that's a legacy. At least you also say, oh, my name, as much as you are tear gassing me, my name is somewhere in the history of this country.
Today, as motorists drive along Raila Odinga Way, they're not just commuting on a road in the capital, they're driving down a lane with historical implication, one that it seeks to honor a man who put country before self. Long before his passing, this honor served as a living testament to his impact. For many, this road is more than just a tribute. It's a reminder of the struggles, the ideals, and the resilience that Raila Odinga embodied. Kamche Menza for Easy Friday at the Raila Odinga Way, Nairobi.
Thank you, Kamche, for that report. Moving on, the government has vowed to enforce meritocracy and ethical conduct across the public service amid growing concern over corruption and inefficiencies in human resource management. Public Service Cabinet Secretary Geoffrey Ruku says the state will not tolerate dishonest practices in the management of personnel and payroll systems. Ruku noted that the government is facing serious challenges in human resource management, citing cases where individuals change job groups multiple times a year, and a trend he termed unethical and unsustainable. Ben Chumba reports.
The government is raising alarm of unethical practices within the public service, warning that abuse of human resource systems continue to undermine efficiency and accountability.
Many government employees are in one workshop to the other, one training to the other. Many government employees are not reporting to their workstation at the required time. Many government employees, we have some of them who are professional students, from one university to the other.
In the exercise of my professional duty.
Yes. Speaking during the 6th Certified Human Resource Professional Certification Ceremony in Nairobi, Public Service Cabinet Secretary Geoffrey Ruku used the occasion to send a tough message to public servants, warning that the government will no longer tolerate abuse of HR systems, ghost workers, or irregular promotions.
It is those human resource managers who have the right to enter, to go into the system, who are colluding and changing the job groups of some government employees 3 times a year.
His remarks come as the government moves to clean up the public payroll and improve accountability across ministries and agencies, reforms that place human resource officers at the heart of ethical governance.
If we embrace professionalism, then it means that HR, the workforce, is going to be more competent, more ethical, and we can avoid vices like corruption, imprudent use of resources, and therefore we see this as a build-up or strengthening our economy through human capacity.
The call for professionalism and integrity in the country's human resource sector took center stage, where over 1,100 graduates were certified as chartered human resource professionals.
Finally, I have gotten my certification through HRMPEB. I know I am a bit younger than most of my colleagues. This would aspire them to be able to get the accreditation they need. I would want to urge my fellow HRs to, come on board, get yourself certified. It is worth it.
In the register of Institute of Human Resource Management, we have about 20,000 professionals. Of course, some of them are not in good standing. And it means if we have certified just slightly over 4,000, then it means the rest of about 16,000 or more are not certified. They are quacks, they are purporting to be professionals. And therefore our call would be, let them join the others, let them come and be certified.
The way employees were used to be managed those days is not the same way employees are managed currently. Employees of this time will tell you, I don't want to come to work at 8. I want to come to work at 11. So long as I work for you for 8 hours, I can report at 11 and end at even 11 in the night. So what's the problem with coming to work at 11? So we need to know how to manage this new generation.
This coming even as private sector players call for digital transformation in HR practice, using technology to track performance, manage leave, and protect employee data.
When HR don't use technology, somebody will do a CV through an AI. And if they are not able to relate and recognize that this is an AI, it can make you employ people who are not competent because they have copy-pasted. By use of technology, HR's job will be easier and they'll be focusing on improving people's productivity by talking to them, listening to them, and all that.
Ben Chumba, Easy Friday.
Now, environmentalists are calling on the National Assembly's Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining to fast-track the enactment of the Environmental Professionals Institute of Kenya Bill 2024. The Friends of the Environment from the Lake Basin region say they support the bill, which they say will bring sanity to the profession and enhance the quality of work. Wycliffe Okech reports.
Licensing and regulation of environment-related works and practices have often been undertaken by the National Environmental Management Authority, NEMA, as well as the Environment Institute of Kenya. However, professionals in the environment sector argue that the emerging complexity of the environment, such as climate change and chemical pollution, requires a professional body that regulates the profession and recognizes those qualified.
The bill is looking to provide a regulatory framework to license, to register professional experts, and it has given various definitions of what they deem professional experts are supposed to be, the qualifications they should have.
You can call it lacuna in law that existed when the law was passed. NEMA is supposed to license projects. At the same time, it has been also licensing experts. So it creates a conflict of interest. Because it's not their mandate, they can only stop you if you do something wrong. There's no further punishment or sanctioning. But if you have a professional body, like the Law Society of Kenya, the Nursing Council of Kenya, it will enhance the practice of environment experts.
As such, the practitioners want the National Assembly Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining to fast-track the Environmental Professionals Institute of Kenya Bill 2024 to bring sanity, quality and professionalism in the sector.
Now, every other person claims to be an environmental expert. And in this bill, it is clearly stipulated how you could be registered and the training that is expected of an environment expert.
They also want the degree requirement for membership registration limited to certain categories and not for all professionals as contained in the bill.
We as Environmental Institute of Kenya, it's a bill we have struggled with for a long time.
and it has been quite a challenge taking it to the level that it has reached today.
The bill, sponsored by the Ndaragwa Member of Parliament George Gachagua and introduced on the Assembly's floor in 2024, is currently at the committee stage, with stakeholders appealing for the fast tracking of the process. For Channel 1, I am Wycliffe Okech.
Thank you, Wycliffe Okech. Moving on, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi has urged African nations to take charge of their innovation and research agenda with a strong focus on empowering the youth to drive the continent's transformation. Separately, residents of Nduma village in Kikuyu constituency, Kiambu County, have recovered a live 80mm mortar artillery shell that is believed to be a remnant from the colonial war in Kenya. Here are the details in the news brief.
The Prime Cabinet Secretary was attending the 44th graduation ceremony of the Catholic University of Eastern Africa held at the university's main campus in Carren. It is here that he said African sustainable growth depends on its ability to produce a new generation of innovators, researchers and leaders grounded in integrity and driven by purpose.
The government continues to expand opportunities for research and innovation to drive transformation in Kenya and across the Eastern Africa region.
Separately, residents of Nduma village in Kikuyu constituency, Kiambu County, recovered a live 80mm mortar artillery shell. Kikuyu Sub-County Police Commander Joseph Ndege, confirming the incident, said the detonator, which was 80mm, was a highly explosive device.
For the persons who are likely to come across such devices, it is important, if you are not so sure, and even if you are so sure, because you are not an expert, please contact the relevant authority.
Elsewhere, property of unknown value was destroyed following a fire outbreak in Mumias, Kakamega County, leaving business owners counting losses.
Tumeenda hasara sana, vitu zimeungua mingi, viti zimeungua ndani, masufuria zimeungua ndani, ile chakula ilikuwa ndani iliharibika. So ni kama tumeenda hasara ya si chini ya 1,150.
In Muranga, preparations for this year's national examinations for KCSE, KPSEA and KGSEA candidates have been completed.
On trying to ensure that there is no irregularity, there is no cheating, we will be going around for monitoring. NEC has also deployed quite a number of officers.
A public participation forum has been convened in Elgeyo Marakwet to gather views from citizens and key stakeholders on the draft national policy and bill concerning ethnic minorities and marginalized communities in Kenya.
Our responsibility was to ensure that we gather the views of all the citizens and all the stakeholders as far as all the issues that are in either the bill or the policy.
Finally, boda riders in Kitengela, Kajiado County have raised alarm over their safety, citing rampant attacks targeting them, especially at night.
Shida yenye tuko nayo hapa Kitengela ya kwanza ni wanabodaboda wengi hawako registered. Wengine wetu tunafanya kazi kama tumeficha number plate. So hata hiyo pikipiki in case ifanye kitu iweze kujulikana ni estate gani ama imetoka wapi.
Nilikuwa nimekosa kosa gani ndio anishike?
Lakini sasa unajua alikonya mambo ya ulevi.
Sikuwa mlevi.
Daddy alikuwa ameenda wapi?
Tulikuwa na mazungumzo na bwana chief.
Ulamuwa aminyago.
Ndakure fintu funda mangondo kose kono mino ni ndinyu mwana wevu.
Santa fanya ajaki.
Eh.
Unabai, unapika, unashiba.
Lea Premium Flour, nurturing the world. Available in a store near you.
Welcome back. Let's now take a look at what's making headlines in the world of business. I'm holding fort for my colleague, Wairimu Njenga. Now, the government will use county cultural festivals to boost Kenya's tourism numbers. Tourism Principal Secretary John Olulutua says the government is in consultations with the Council of Governors in a bid to create a national cultural festival calendar to make cultural tourism a year-round attraction. He spoke to Regina Manyara.
According to the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, the global cultural tourism market was valued at more than 800 billion shillings in 2024 and is expected to reach 2 trillion shillings by 2032. The Ministry of Tourism is on a blitz market campaign to diversify the country's tourism portfolio away from the beach and safari package to a more immersive and emerging trends, including cultural tourism.
If you attend the Tobongolore Cultural Festival or the Ma Cultural Festival, you also begin to understand what the Maasai do, you know, what kind of economic activities do they have, what kind of social activities do they have, how do they protect the environment, how do they conserve, and you can be able to learn and also replicate the same wherever you are. So it's really a kind of cultural diversity and integration.
To Tourism Principal Secretary John Olulutua, an all-year-round cultural tourism activities calendar would incentivize participation by dominant communities within the devolved units to showcase their unique traits.
Through the State Department for Culture, the Arts and the Heritage, they are also putting in place legislation to be able to protect ineligible rights of the communities, to ensure that this community, this culture is patent, is protected within the law, so that people do not misuse it, and that it lives long for generations to come.
So far, Kenya boasts of 10 cultural festivals, including the Ma Cultural Festival, Tobongolore, Loping Festival, Rusinga Festival, and the Lamu Festival.
We have encouraged the governors that they must put these cultural events on different dates. The Ma Cultural Festival has been agreed that the first week of November of every year is going to be the Ma Cultural Festival. And it's actually touching the Ma economic block, which of course includes Kajiado, Samburu, and Narok. And that it will be rotational. You know, it began with Narok, it went to Samburu. This year, it's going to Kajiado.
The Ministry of Tourism is working with the Council of Governors to finalize the dates, which will be incorporated into the Magical Kenya calendar to enhance promotion by the Kenya Tourism Board. Regina Manyara reporting for KBC Channel 1.
Thank you, Regina, for that report. Moving on, the Food and Agriculture Organization is seeking 4 billion shillings to support small-scale farmers implement climate-smart technologies. Food and Agriculture Organization County Director for Kenya, Nyabeni Tipo, has underscored the need to ensure small-scale farmers are empowered to produce sustainably.
166 billion shillings on importing food in 2024, representing a 12% reduction. The Food and Agriculture Organization believes the amount spent on importing food could further decrease if small-scale farmers are supported to practice smart agriculture. The Food and Agriculture Organization says it has a 6.5 billion shillings kitty to train and equip farmers in Kenya on climate-smart technologies.
We work with the farmers to protect forests, to protect environment, to protect the biodiversity loss, especially with the climate change impact. We want to ensure that the nature-based approaches are really implemented on the ground.
With an initiative ya beekeeping ambapo tuliweza kuhamasisha jamii na tukaweka mizinga along a blue forest ambayo ilitusaidia kuprotect kwa sababu moto ilikuwa inatoka kwa jamii inaingia kwa msitu.
Part of the funds will support farmers conform to the deforestation regulations for those exporting produce to the European market.
We have worked with the government, specifically doing training to ensure that they are informed about the EUDR, but also with farmers, because you are enforcing something, but you have to make sure people are aware what these things, what does it mean.
The United Nations is supporting the integration of smallholder farmers into Kenya's school feeding program.
Those school meals are going to be provided by local enterprises on the basis of food grown by local farmers, so it's business for them, and it's going to be done in a way that is sustainable because we're going to move to clean cooking technologies that protect the environment. So we will be feeding kids, we'll be helping them stay in school, get educated, we'll be building a stronger and healthier Kenya.
They were speaking during the United Nations 80-year celebrations that highlighted efforts in promoting sustainable development. Benson Rioba reporting for Easy Friday.
Now, the government, with the support of the World Bank, is developing a comprehensive national marine spatial plan to sustainably harness Kenya's vast ocean resources. John Thabo, Deputy Director for Lands and Physical Planning, says the National Marine Spatial Plan will enhance environmental management, improve ecosystem protection, and strengthen climate resilience while fostering sustainable economic growth.
The Marine Spatial Plan is a 20-year strategic framework that seeks to balance ecological, social and economic objectives in the sustainable management of marine and coastal resources. It provides a coordinated, science-based approach to ensure economic growth goes hand in hand with environmental conservation and social equity. The Marine Spatial Plan covers Kenya's 640 kilometers coastline. It provides legal certainty for investors, preventing resource use conflicts and protecting biodiversity. Officials say the Marine Spatial Plan will guide the sustainable use of Kenya's ocean space by coordinating activities such as fisheries, tourism, shipping, renewable energy, and maritime transport.
Conservation, if we're talking about marine protected areas, how are you going to do it? How does it complement government efforts in developing this country? How do we do it in a way that we also conserve the environment? How do we do it so that then we are complementing each other without creating chaos?
Members of the public welcomed the Marine Spatial Plan, describing it as a timely intervention to promote sustainable marine resource management and tackle destruction of turtle nesting sites.
Naona mikakati ya serikali ikiboresha mikakati hiyo itamfanya mvuvi aondoke pale alipokuwa pa umaskini awe mahali ambapo patamridhisha.
Si kutoka nizaliwe mpaka hapa nimefika, nimetegemea bahari. Hiyo ndio inatupa chakula kama kuvua samaki. Pia tunapata hata dawa katika kwenye mikoko.
Now, a surge in digital transactions, improved tax compliance, and a rebound in post-pandemic business activity has helped drive up the Kenya's banking industry taxes paid to the exchequer. This is according to the latest report by PwC, which is calling for a shift from revenue generation to public expenditure efficiency. PwC Tax Services expert Alice Mureithi warns that sustainable growth depends not only on how much is raised, but on prudent use of public funds to strengthen economic confidence and attract investment.
The conversation, I think, has too much emphasis on revenue. We need to now talk about expenditure, right? So the sector has paid 8% of the taxes. Are we having a conversation around how that money is being used? Yeah? So for example, in the room we said that one of the significant growth areas was around the affordable housing levy. So we've paid it. Is it fulfilling that mandate for affordable housing from an expenditure perspective? So I think the conversation, other people need to join this conversation and actually hold people account on the expenditure side.
Now, cross-border traders will easily access market information after the launch of the Trade Information Booth at the Namanga One-Stop Border Post. Speaking during a dialogue on non-tariff barriers, East African Business Council Acting Executive Director Adrian Raphael Njau said women and youth face challenges navigating complex trade procedures.
Cross-border traders in East African community have raised concerns over delays and higher costs linked to trade permits and certificates, which slow the flow of goods. This art calls on border agencies to simplify certification and lower free requirements.
Tutahakikisha kwamba tunawafundisha au tunawaongezea uwezo wa wafanyabiashara ili kuweza kutumia mifumo, hasa ule mfumo ambao tunaita simplified trade regime katika jumuiya yetu, ambapo unawafanya wafanyabiashara wanaweza wakapata vile vyeti vya uhalisia wa bidhaa ambazo bidhaa zao hazipiti juu ya thamani ya $2,000.
The trade information booth at the Namanga one-stop border post is expected to ease trade for women and youth, offering access to market information, training videos and online reporting platforms for trade barriers.
Women would, when they want to trade, they did not know that the government had put in place how to resolve the non-tariff barriers. So they would use unregulated routes to get to the other common markets. But now the government has streamlined that because there is a program that ensures that every financial year, the agenda, the women agenda, in as far as building their capacities in removal of the non-tariff barriers is taken into place.
The East African Business Council is calling on EAC member states to tackle non-tariff barriers.
And finally, Alaska Airlines has grounded flights at all U.S. airports due to what the carrier described as an IT outage issue. The U.S. carrier did not say how long the outage would last or how many flights were affected. Here are the details of this and other stories making headlines across the borders. Technical hitch. We will be back with that report later on if my director allows, but for now let's take a short break. My colleague Daniel Wahome will be back with the sports news.
Waite wale wana waliwali wale waliwali.
Kuku alichakura chakula kwenye chaka la taka.
Ni kweli vijana wameandaliwa katika nafasi za uongozi?
Baadhi ya vijana wanashiriki katika ulevi na dawa za kulevya, jambo linalowafanya kutoaminika katika uongozi wa nchi.
Kuna mashirika mengi ya vijana zinazowasaidia vijana kukuza talanta zao.
Kula kunafaa. Ukanusho wake?
Kutokula hakufai.
Piga makofi jamaa. Kikwamba ni nini?
Kwamba ni bahari ya shairi ambayo neno fulani linarudiliwa katika nafasi fulani.
Taifa mawili katika bara la Afrika yaliyotawaliwa na Wareno,
Angola na Mozambique.
Angola na Mozambique.
Tushinde.com. Cheza safe, cheza smart. Gambling is addictive. Not for persons under the age of 18 years.
Dosi amelala. Sukuma moja. Wewe pia ndio muoga. Ndio maana Master Demi ilikupita. Demi haiko nipita bwana. Mimi najaza entry ticket zangu. Wewe hata unajua namba ya kusenda.
Sini *419#.
Option. Ni Probox. Bwana finya hiyo kitu. Mfinye. Finya hiyo kitu. Mfinye. Finya hiyo kitu. Mfinye. Finya bwana.
Probox was *419# option 3. Fresh design ndani ya light commercial vehicle. Cargo space ni kubwa na kama haitoshi iko foldable back seat for more space. Kamera ni mbili mbele na kamera ni mbili nyuma. Injini yako ni 1500cc. Nguvu na picking guaranteed. Hii itakusabu. Whether ni familia, biashara, camping, ita come through.
Fungua kit. Fungua kit. Fungua kit. Fungua kit.
Wewe, saa hii saa ngapi unafungua hiyo gate? Ni watchman alikuwa anatoka na gari yake.
Watchman? Ametoa gari wapi?
Ya wasi amesinda kwa *419#.
Iko Probox kwa *419# option 3. Cheza safe, cheza smart. Gambling is addictive. Not for persons under the age of 18 years.
A very good evening to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Easy Friday Sport. And the national women's football team, the Harambee Starlets, boosted their chances of qualifying for the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations, that's a WAFCON, after beating Gambia by 3-1 in the first leg of the final qualification round at the Nyao National Stadium. No sooner had the match started than Gambia opened the scoring in the second minute before Mwan Halima Adam leveled the scores after 10 minutes. It took only 7 minutes for Fasila Athiamo to put Starlets ahead before Charlene Opisa put the results beyond doubt just before the break. At the Stade Lac Dior in Tees, as Gambia lacks a stadium that meets CAF standards, the aggregate winner will book a ticket to the 2026 WAFCON, as scheduled to take place in Morocco from the 17th to the 20th, from the 17th of March to the 3rd of April next year. Meanwhile, the team is 5 million shillings richer after President William Samoei Ruto extended incentives to them to motivate them in their qualification campaign. The president earlier today pledged 5 million shillings for a home win. And in the process, it means that when they qualify for the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, with a win, they will get 1 million shillings. And if they draw, they will get 500,000 shillings.
We are behind you 100%. We are going to support you, Kihali na Mali. We need you to represent the flag with pride, and we are so excited about this game. Liwe Liwalo, leave everything on that pitch today. Wachini kila kitu on that pitch. Sawa.
And President William Ruto today received the iconic English Premier League trophy at State House, Nairobi, as it began its Kenya tour during the Guinness Match Day weekend, marking an historic moment for Kenya's passionate football community. From State House, the trophy made its second stop at the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation headquarters in Nairobi today, giving staff led by the management a rare chance to get an up close with one of the world's most celebrated sporting symbols.
Near State House, the president welcomed officials from the Premier League to Kenya, praising the country's deep love for football and the unity that the football unites fans across the nation.
Kenya is a great sporting nation, and it is our responsibility as government to put up the infrastructure to support Kenyan talent and to make sure Kenyan talent finds its way to where it belongs at the global stage.
He also paid tribute to Kenya football legends, including Joe Kandenge, Victor Wanyama and McDonald Mariga, saying that they inspired generations and proved that Kenyan talent belongs on the world stage.
Kenya is without a doubt a football crazy nation. We don't just watch Premier League. We live it. We breathe Premier League and argue about it every weekend as if we owned the clubs ourselves.
As the Premier League trophy begins its tour across Kenya during the Guinness Match Day weekend, President Ruto invited all Kenyans to come together and celebrate what he called a historic moment for the nation's football lovers.
We've had 3 positions in FIFA committees that we got last month, which is a major achievement for us at the global stage. We sit now in the Stadium and Security Committee at FIFA. We sit in the International Relations Committee at FIFA, and we sit in the Ethics Committee at FIFA. Those 3 positions are a clear testament to the achievements and to the trust that FIFA now has in the local federation, and all this is through the investment that you've made over the last couple of months, which is very visible.
From State House, the English Premier League trophy made its second stop at the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation headquarters in Nairobi today, where it was passionately received by the management and staff, who got a rare opportunity to get up close and record memorable moments with one of the world's most celebrated sporting symbols.
This one being here means a lot for Manchester United, who are taking it.
Yes.
It is important also for Arsenal fans, especially kuiona kwa TV ikiwa nyumbani, because wanaionanga ikiwa miles away.
Mtizame tu, mmeze kwa mate, mnaweza kuja mashabiki kwa ajili KBC
Sisi ndio true sports partner.
Kabisa.
Wenzio wa dhati mchezoni, tunapenda kabumbu kweli kweli. Hata hii EPL, Mungu akipenda, mwaka ujao. Very soon. Inshallah. Watch this space.
For many, the brief encounter with the trophy was more than a photo opportunity. It was a celebration of Kenya's deep connection to the beautiful game. Football fans would get an opportunity to see the trophy over the weekend at the B&D Kiambu Road.
I'm just laughing because I was there when the trophy came in and all the banter, and I'm just looking at what Dan Mwendwa has done. Dan Mwendwa, I think you will have a lot of explaining to do because I know the club you support. So I know what you picked. So Dan Mwendwa, see you tomorrow morning. I'll help you get out of trouble. Meanwhile, great news from Turkey. Team Kenya won 2 gold medals in the air para badminton competition during the World Ability Sports Beach Games that concluded today in Mersin, Turkey, to bring Kenya's tally to 4. The Kenya para powerlifting team had clinched 1 gold, a silver and 2 bronze medals to finish second yesterday in their category. The Kenya Air Para Badminton national team won a gold medal in the mixed triples and another one in the mixed triples relays after overcoming Turkey 2 sides by 3 sets to 1 in the finals. John Mburu sent Kenya A in the first final with starting lineup of Patrick Mwema, Benson Nduva, Merinduko before Caleb Molo and Boniface Were. They were charged up for the second final, the mixed triples relays, where they fought back to clinch another gold. Speaking after the final whistle, and elated team captain Newton Gatobu urged the federation and the government to invest in proper infrastructure to help develop beach air para badminton in Kenya. The triumphant team is expected back home on Monday morning as focus shifts to the 2026 Africa and World Para Badminton Championships. And Kenya's hit squad clinched 4 gold medals in the day's early session of the Africa Zone 3 Boxing Championship at the Kasarani Gymnasium in Nairobi after outstanding performances. Let's get the story where Kenya's Amina Martha thrilled the home crowd after emerging the winner in the women's bantamweight finals. The Africa bronze medalist showcased her experience and dominance, controlling the bout right from the first bell. It took Amina just 1 round to overpower Tanzania's Zulfa Macho through a technical knockout, sealing a decisive victory and clinching the title for Kenya. In another performance, Kenya's Cynthia Mwai struck gold in the light welterweight division after defeating Uganda's Amina in the finals to boost Kenya's medal tally. The men were equally impressive, with rising star Sitas Onyango making quick work of his opponent Simba Mayala. Onyango needed just 1 round to secure another gold for Kenya via technical knockout. More medals were expected in the evening session as more boxers took to the ring before the curtains come down on the Africa Zone 3 Boxing Championships. A total of 120 boxers were taking part in the week-long contest that brought together 9 countries. And Nottingham Forest returned to winning ways against Porto, who they beat 2-0 via 2 penalty spot kicks in the UEFA Europa League at the City Ground Stadium in last night's matches. This was Forest new manager Sean Dyche's first win after replacing Ange Postecoglou, who was sacked. Olympique Lyonnais beat Basel by 2-0 in another league phase match as Genk had a barren draw with Real Betis.
Big old defensive line for Villa.
Well, it's 10 minutes past 10 p.m. East African time. GMT time, it means it's 10 minutes past 7 p.m. And DJ Cole Jax is saying, and I had a quick glimpse at his playlist, and there's a group known as After 7, which means that disco funk is up after 7 GMT. My name is Daniel Wahome. Thank you for being with us on Easy Friday Sport. Back to Carren.
Thank you very much, Wahome, for keeping us up to speed with all the news making headlines in the world of sports. And now you know what's coming right after the 9 p.m. Easy Friday Bulletin. DJ Cool Jacks will be right back with the Disco Funk Show. That's all we had for you right here on Easy Friday. I'll see you next week, same time, same place. Our sign language interpreter this evening has been Caroline Njoroge. Thank you so much from the whole team here at KBC Channel 1. We wish you a lovely weekend ahead and a good night tonight. Good night. My name is Carren Kibbett.
Cerebral palsy is a group of lifelong neurological disorders that affect movement, posture, and muscle coordination.
Sina pesa ya kununua diaper. Nilikuwa nafunganga nylon paper na manguo.
When we started therapy, they're able to support their neck, they're able to learn intellectually, they are processing the information, they're able to sit on their special seat even without being supported with anything else.
Kama we ni mwanamke na bado unazaa ama uko na watoto wako wenye